So I am extremely delighted to be here today to mark this what I call as a temporal event of completing 25 years of our Sunday class, and it's not only kind of just a milestone event, but it's also a occasion where we can get together and take stock of what we went through. And as Prabhu said, I am associated with the class throughout, and I think I am probably the most benefited person from the class. Okay, so as you people said that you come and go, so you reap benefit of 1 year or 2 years, but I have got the benefit of all the 25 years. Exactly opposite to what Preeti has said, to the meaning of Tirukural, we started with no aim, no ambition, no plan, and nothing very big. My mindset when I joined for a PhD in IGCAR Kalpakam was that I felt certain subjects in physics I have learned reasonably well in my master's course. And when I came here, I found students struggling to understand and learn the way I have learned. So I thought, as a senior student, it is my responsibility to help them. So when I joined for my PhD in '94 in Kalpakam, the only thing that I had with me was kind of a passion to teach. In fact, my seniors in Kalpakam used to remark that it's very easy to kidnap this fellow. You have to just show a chalk piece and he will go behind. So that's the kind of remark I used to get from my seniors. When I was so much interested in teaching, wherever I get an opportunity, I would say gladly yes and go and teach. So in 1995, Kalpakam IGCAR started something called summer training program. And I immediately went and offered that I will teach. But in '95, they did not give me a course because I was too young a student at the time. But then they said, if you want, you can do tutorials. So I said, it's better than nothing. So I opted to do tutorials. And looking at my interest, from '96 onwards, they gave me a full course. So I was teaching quantum mechanics course in '96 onwards. So in 1996, when we did this summer training program, two students who came to that program approached me after the program. One Sudhakar, who is now a professor in IIT Madras, and the other Mukundan Chakrabarti, he I think settled abroad. So these two people approached me and said, why don't you continue your teaching on weekends? I said, very good. So I was very happy. So we started in 1996 this class, not very formally, but it's an informal class. Sudhakar used to arrange a classroom in Anna University at that time, and I used to teach in Anna University Physics Department. 8 students have, I think, have been attending that class in '96. And then later, for some reason, Anna University did not work through. And one of the person who was attending the class was daughter of Professor P.R. Subramaniam. So she offered to talk to her father, and then that's how we entered this department 2-3 months after we started. And before that class that broke out and this got arranged, there were a few weeks where we were running this class just by sitting on the road, either in the canteen or only 8 people, so they used to sit around and we used to discuss by writing it on the notebook. And after that, we were given this small classroom, empty classroom. In fact, I never met Professor P.R. Subramaniam at that time. She talked to him and he agreed, and he used to come. And since it's Sunday, I don't get to meet So maybe after 1.5 years only, I met Professor P.R. Subramaniam. So in 1996, 97, it was kind of an informal level. This was going on like this. Then in 1998, there was a research student in this department called Ramamurthy. He is now in US. So Ramamurthy came up to me and said, why don't we do it at a little formal level? So that is where we actually talked to Professor P.R. Subramaniam, and then there was a culture initiated that an advertisement or an intimation to colleges in Chennai will be sent from the head of the department, and then formally announce a date that this day class will start. And so that time it started in a slightly bigger way because I used to teach on Saturday days. And then Ramamurthy and some other research students here also used to teach on weekdays in the evening. So that happened for the whole 1 year, like 98. And then I think they finished PhD and then moved on. And then we were continuing the weekend, Sunday, actually, at least we were continuing. And there used to be kind of a time where we had only some 3 students who were continuously attending. Okay, so, but we did not stop the class. We were continuing the class. One of the 3 is Tangadurai, who is my colleague in Pondicherry University. I think he is there in online today. So then Mahesh, he is in Space Application Center. So these are 3 students, so it's easy to remember. So then 2000, post 2000, I think many of you will remember because some of you belong to that 2000, 2002, 2003, like that. And 2003, for a year, I was in Germany, a postdoc. And during that time, Anlakshmi, Ponmurugan, and Balaji from IGCAR, he joined IGCAR after finishing CAT training school. They pitched in and then they kept the class running. They used to teach on Sundays. So I came back again, it continued. So, in fact, I must tell you that at no point of time, in fact, recently Raja shared a note, 1 page, that I wrote down which are the days in which class did not happen that year. There were only 4 days. One was tsunami, I think, right? So, so that particular year he said. So we used to never miss the class. So it used to be continuous all the time. Okay, so I wanted to actually say a few things. Going like this year by year is probably not very fair to my own memory because I might jumble up things. But I would like to instead concentrate on 2 things. One is what this class has done to me as the first aspect. And second thing is that what I try to do to this class. Okay. Now, first part is important because if you know what this class has done to me, then you will realize that why I am running this for so long time. I mean, if I have to mention, it's very difficult to say this because I really do not know whether I can capture what this class has done to me in words or with reason. Because I remember a beautiful quote by Blaise Pascal, who said that heart has its reasons, whereof reason knows nothing. Okay, so there is a reason to run this class, but my reasoning, whether it will capture that reason, I'm not very sure. And if I cannot capture the reason, I cannot put it in words. Okay, so having said that, I was trying hard to see how I communicate what this class has done to me. Then I felt that this class has allowed me to discover myself. That's what probably is the right way to put it. it has actually allowed me to discover myself. With every student, with every experience, with every year, I came to know more about me. And once you know about you, you develop. That's the ultimate thing, right? You have to know who you are. I want to illustrate this with a couple of examples. And this also is an interesting question that some of you, many of you outside and some of you inside, may also have this thing that how is it that you are running it for 25 years? Have you never thought that you will stop it somewhere? Enough, I can't do it anymore. Okay, so if you ask that question, then you can see that when do you feel like you are doing something, it is close to your heart, or doing it. When do you feel that you should stop it? This question has certain occasions. No? For example, suppose you are frustrated of something in the class. For example, one thing which I early days used to get heavily frustrated. That is, you work to get certain result. Right? So let's say we are teaching some 30 students, and then we expect that among 30 students, some 5 students will learn well and then clear. There's some exam which you can clear and then demonstrate that you have learned adequately. But then every time the exam happens and after the exam we get a null result, you get frustrated. I'm not an exception to that. I get frustrated. And it used to be so frustrating at times that can lead to saying, enough, I don't want to teach any longer. In fact, there was an occasion where I was so disappointed and frustrated that Anilakshmi has told me that, okay, this time I'm going to write this exam. Okay, just to say that there will be a result. In fact, she wrote that time and cleared. And I believe she was the first one to clear from her college. Okay, so now this is an every year affair, no? So you have to go through this every year, and how long can you sustain? Now, whenever I face this kind of difficulties, I have got a solution, and the solution is coming in a very, very interesting way. For example, one day I had a dream, and that dream was a very wonderful dream. The dream is that all the students whom I am teaching have cleared the exam. Result 25. Tamil Nadu has never seen that result. So I could see it in my dream. Then, after that, I realized I never got so much attached with this content of the dream because I felt it's a dream, it's illogical. I never expected that it will happen, and I never got disappointed when it did not happen. Why? It's a dream. Then it struck to me, when a dream cannot happen, how can I expect it to happen? How can I expect a daydream to happen? So earlier I was thinking these 4 people should clear, these 10 people should clear, is my daydreaming. Right? I am expecting, right? This is my daydreaming. I am simulating. Now, if that doesn't happen, why that should affect me? A dream, how I treat a dream, why I can't treat a daydream? This realization has given me a sort of liberation from this kind of a disappointment. I never got frustrated afterwards for any result, anybody's result.
Which year was this?
Around 2005-6. And you see, after this kind of some simple realizations I have got, my own behavior has completely changed. My approach towards training, teaching, everything has changed. With every such realization, I have improved. So every such small frustration here and there, the solution also comes from within. You have to be only awake and alert to capture the signals that you yourself will get. That's all that I did. Every time I had a problem, there was a solution. Every time I had a frustration, there was a remedy. And hence, there was no need for stopping this. There was no necessity to aim anything big. Okay. So this is, as I can say, that this is kind of a great personality change that I have got through this process of engaging in teaching. Now let me talk about a little bit about what I try to do here. If you see the kind of class that we get here, you have a situation like this. For some reason, the kind of physics education in this region and in this state is actually a little bit unhealthy. Okay, suffering. So students, when they complete their BSc, MSc, their learning is impaired. Okay, so I think Shanmuga Priyan was once telling that he traveled in a physical handicapped compartment.
அன்மியூட் பண்ணாதான் பேச முடியும் அப்படிதானே?
So kindly mute participants. Kindly mute the participants.
So then he said once, he said, "Oh, it doesn't matter. I didn't feel guilty because I'm academically handicapped." So this feeling is there in people who come here. So if you did not learn physics properly or sufficiently in your courses, what is the way to learn? The way to learn is that you have to go to some good institutes. You have to go to IIT or IISc or IMSc. These kind of good institutes you have to go. But these institutes have got a selection criteria. How do you get selected? Only if you know physics. To know physics, you have to go there. To go there, you should know physics. Who will solve this problem? So I thought we should have a place where they can walk in without this selection headache. And then learn physics at their own pace. And then whoever can sustain, they can get selected and then go to these institutes of eminence. So one of the important things I try to maintain here is that no kind of selection is done. Anybody who wants to walk in. Second thing is that throughout your student life, you are completely frustrated with examinations. This exam, that exam. So another thing I try to maintain here is that no kind of evaluation. We don't conduct any examination. We don't evaluate anybody. So what we do is we simply teach. We simply give you training necessary for you to use it. Now at this point, another important understanding which I have got is that an answer to the question, what is the role of a teacher? I mean, some of you are all teachers now. What is the role of a teacher? Is it to teach or make you an expert or transfer all the knowledge that I have to you? I understood that the role of a teacher is to make a student ready to learn. That's all. To make a student ready to learn is the goal of a teacher. Because I cannot teach you everything. Because I don't know everything. I cannot teach everything I know also. So there is nothing like a complete transfer of knowledge. If I can make a student ready to learn, they will learn on their own. So my job becomes easy now. I have no pressure of covering the syllabus because there is no syllabus. Okay, there is no syllabus. So this understanding has completely kept no pressure on me. Okay, so I have to just make someone learn, ready to learn. That's the learning part is taken care of by themselves. So no selection, no evaluation. And every Sunday class is a pedagogical experiment. Okay, I always try different things here. For example, I used to, one of the very rare things that this class has is that every day you come here to teach, you will have some 20 students. But not same 20. So you cannot start saying in the last class we have seen this. Because these people have not seen the last class. So I have taken it as an advantage. Okay, so I don't probably have too much of a connection, or I summarize something, a part of that previous lecture today also. Because we don't have syllabus, so I don't have to complete anything. So same thing I may teach again. Sometimes I may teach again, same. Depending on, in fact, some 5-6 students will be there common. Sometimes they may get bored. Then later, I made those 5-6 people themselves as a resource person. Okay, so what I do is I ask them to just spread around in the class and then sit 5 people around them and they will discuss with them. So that my job is done. So I introduced this slogan, each one teach one. Okay, at least you teach one person. Okay, so then they realize, because when they go, they will ask a lot of questions. Then they feel that, okay, I have not understood it properly. Go back and then relearn it. So like that, one of the things that happened over the years is that whoever have got trained in the courses, in these courses, in these things, if they have taken up to teaching profession, they all are doing very good teaching. Okay, so a learning here has got converted into good teaching. That way. I am not too much worried about some kind of numbers at any time. How many people have succeeded, how many teachers have become. That was not, because I did not want anything out of this class. Whatever I want, I've already got it. I did not have any great ambition, or I have to read. I did not have any heights which I have to scale. Nothing like that. I was completely free, stress-free, and doing it. Whatever I was doing, I was completely enjoying and doing it. Okay, so that way, I think whatever you do, how much ever long time you want to do, you can do. Right? So there is no trouble at all in doing this. I've enjoyed every bit of coming here and teaching, every bit of every interaction. Okay. In fact, we had a large section of students, especially when female students, when they come to the class, they always used to get frustrated that their future is not in their hands. They want to study and do something, but this is a national problem. It's not the problem of these students alone. in our nation, society and this pressures are there. So people always used to have this kind of difficulty that I don't know whether I can do PhD or I want to do, but I don't know if I'm allowed. So this kind of problems. I used to feel very awkward about it. I used to feel very bad about it. But then I realized, okay, I told them many times, see, even if you attend this class, you learn something, you realize the bigger picture of life, next generation will not suffer this problem. So let us work for the next generation. Maybe I cannot save you, but let us work for the next one. So I always felt, sometimes people also feel that, okay, if I'm not a researcher or a scientist or a teacher, I go to software or don't do anything, remain a housewife or a house husband, we don't know, we have wasted this learning or something. It's not like that. Whatever is learned here is, we are actually creating a better society. We are creating a better human society, so that anything that you learn here, appreciate or think scientifically, develop a scientific attitude towards your own thinking and life, will change. Without your knowledge, it will change. And that change is immeasurable. And that is why I always respected every individual, whatever they have done, whatever they are doing, whether they are in physics or out of physics, it doesn't matter. Okay? This respect to others is another thing which I always felt has given me less of discomfort. Suppose I ask a question, and then I ask you, anybody answers? Nobody answers. Usually this is the case. Now I point out a person and ask them, tell me, then also no answer. Then what is the option? You will get either angry, or you show your anger on that fellow or show the anger on the whole class. Correct? And I've always made it a point to respect your freedom. You don't want to speak? Thank you. You want to speak? Thank you. So respecting others' freedom is another thing which did not disturb my balance anytime. I've always felt comfortable whether you speak or don't speak. Okay, so it is actually very important for us to say this, because if ever someone wants to attempt this kind of a thing or get encouraged to see if something can be done like this, these are bigger gains, big gains, right? So as I told you in the beginning, that I am the most beneficiary of this class. My personality, as I am today, has transformed from a shapeless rock to what I am now, is because of my involvement in teaching in these classes. This is basically, everybody calls this as a voluntary activity, but it is involuntary for me. Even if I don't want to come, I come here. Thank you very much.